In the book Between Heaven and Hell, Peter Kreeft uses C.S. Lewis to defend Jesus' divinity. If Lewis proves that Jesus is divine, all of Jesus' teachings about heaven and hell must be true. Thus, Lewis will have a justified reason for believing in the concepts of heaven and hell, which might just explain where exactly he is.
Where the hell are we?
Yes, I say. Aren't you President Kennedy? How did you get here? Wherever here is.
Ex-president. I suppose. I seem to have been assassinated. Who are you? And to return to my first question, where the hell are we?
I'm C.S. Lewis. I just died too. This place feels too good to be hell. On the other hand, I didn't see any God, did you?
No, Lewis, then it can't be heaven either. I wonder if it's purgatory.
That would be a sensible conclusion for you to make, since you are a Roman Catholic.
Well, I was more of a modern Catholic. I didn't bother about transcendental mystery or mythology.
Why, it's Aldous Huxley. Welcome, Aldous. How did you get here?
Same way you did, I'm sure. I just died. Oh, I say, Kennedy, Lewis, what good company to die in. Or live in. Whatever it is we're doing. Where is this place anyway?
That's what we're trying to figure out. I just hope it's not hell.
It must be heaven. Everywhere is heaven.
Even hell?
This is going to be fun. Lewis, I see you've lost none of your tendency for Socratic questioning. This will be a nice challenge.
Then reply to it. If everywhere is heaven, then either hell doesn't exist, or hell is a part of heaven. Which way will you have it, Aldous?
Oh, wait a minute, before you two take off, I was a debater too. But we politicians confine ourselves to the concrete, the tangible. Lewis, you wrote a book about heaven. How the hell, how in heaven's name, how on earth do you know anything about heaven? Have you ever been there?
Oh, so you want some assurance that there's some method of really finding the truth of things we cannot see. Well, do you know anything at all about Tibet?
Of course.
Have you ever been there?
No.
Well, how do you know anything about it?
Oh, I see. Well, I've been told about it.
Exactly. You believe the things you've been told. That's called faith.
So you accept these things on faith?
Yes, but by investigating what I've been told through reason. And the only authority by which I believe in these concepts like heaven and hell is by the authority of Jesus Christ, the divine author of the world, who taught it.
But you can't prove that he's the divine author of the world.
Aut Deus aut homo malus. It's Latin for
Either God or a bad man. Yes, I still know my Latin after these years too, thanks to my excellent teacher, Mr. Hoffman.
Yes, well, anyways, Jesus must either be God or a bad man. For a mere man who claimed that he was God would not be a good man. Now, if you prove that Jesus is not a bad man, then you have to accept the conclusion that he is God.
I'm beginning to see why I want to avoid logic, but go on.
Now think, if you or I had claimed what he claimed, that is, to be divine, would anyone believe us?
Of course not.
Then why did so many believe him?
Perhaps we better answer Lewis's question by looking at a parallel case. Why did so many people believe Buddha when he made incredible claims?
It has to be the same as with Jesus. It was his human credibility.
Why, yes. Buddha was said to be a man wholly to his fingertips. Why, if you had met him, you would have believed anything he said.
Precisely, this authority was present in Jesus too. He taught as the man of authority, not as the scribes. The disciples believed what Jesus said because they first believed him. A man with such an incredible reputation, even one who claimed divinity, had to be believed. Aut Deus aut homo malus.
I can neither refute the argument, nor am I convinced by it, no matter how unanswerable it seems. Frankly, you scare me, Lewis. You must have made quite a few enemies when you were on Earth. Huxley, help?
I think I've found an escape in your conclusion.
And what is that?
Your argument doesn't hold without the premise that Jesus claimed divinity, and you cannot prove that.
Of course I can.
How?
The same way I can prove any historical statement. Eyewitnesses saw and heard him. They told us about it, just as they told us about any event that happened before our time, orally and in written form.
Wait, so you rely on textual evidence?
Of course. Just as I rely on textual evidence about the teachings of Plato or the deeds of Julius Caesar.
But just how certain can 2,000-year-old texts be?
Do you doubt that Caesar was emperor or that he conquered Gaul?
No.
Can you prove it?
No. The New Testament accounts are myths. If I read Caesar was virgin born or rose from the dead, I think Caesar's story was a myth too.
I think you're arguing in a circle. You doubt the miracles because you doubt the text, and you doubt the text because you doubt the miracles it describes.
I never thought of it that way.
Also, names and dates provide historical proof for the Gospels. If they are not eyewitness accounts, then they are a type of fantasy that has absolutely no parallel in all of literature. Think about it, some Galilean peasants, fishermen, and tax collectors, inventing not only the world's most gigantic and most successful form of literature.
Okay. Perhaps the story of the gospel is true. But I say Jesus never claimed divinity, that writers foisted those words upon him later.
Consider this. The modernist has to say that the New Testament writers were either very stupid or deliberate liars.
How can you be sure? You have no hard evidence.
Well, consider the psychological absurdity of martyrs dying for a blasphemous, stupid practical joke.
Well, that does seem psychologically unlikely.
And the alternative that Christ's followers were liars. What could possibly have motivated the original creation of the lie? What did its inventors get out of it? Persecuted, exiled, tortured, imprisoned, and killed, that's what. People who lie and deceive, especially when the lie is so clever and complete and systematic, always do it for a reason, for a motive, or some personal advantage.
That is true.
Look, it's getting brighter.
You're right. It is getting brighter.
We were so caught up arguing that we never realized it.
How strange. The light. It seems to be coming.
We must follow it. Ha! It's too bright. I never realized how hard it is to follow the light. It's like the rising sun.
No, it's...
It's the rising sun. He is coming.
I am the light.